Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Good.
Good. Good to hear.
Yeah.
What do you, I guess we're kind of leaning into our topic a little bit here, but what do you think about a 2025 free of GTA 6 and your gaming? What does that look
I've
like?
never been happier. And also at the same time, didn't really care anyway. But it's just when I just saw it, the thing what we're talking about, sort of delay, I just thought, oh no, I've got to play all those games now. I've got to try and play. What a shame.
Yeah. It's a
What a
weird one.
damn shame.
So I guess to kind of launch us into the conversation, for anyone who's been kind of living under a rock the last few days, and honestly, I think if you play video games, you probably have to be living under a rock to have not heard the news. GTA 6 has been delayed for the longest time. Everyone was thinking it was due to come late this year. Certainly when there was a Borderlands State of Play, Borderlands 4 State of Play earlier in the week, and Randy Pitchford announced that the game was coming forward 2 weeks. And keep in mind that's all published by Take-Two. Just like Rockstar and all their titles. That kind of added to the feeling that GTA is probably October, November. Sony went out and announced, within days of that, then that Ghost of Yotei was coming out October 2nd. And so, we're getting out early, and everything was looking pretty stacked for late October, maybe November. And then all of a sudden, a tweet popped out from Rockstar that just said, game's coming out May 26, 2026. Sorry for the delay. And then a whole bunch of other stuff there that, whatever, usual apologies. So, obviously, you said not necessarily the worst thing. It gives you an opportunity to work through some games. For me personally, I'm a little bit the same. I assume, there's probably been some developers and publishers who've already pushed their game to 2026, just assuming that GTA was going to rock up late in the year. And they've probably now set their development pipeline. They've planned everything around 2026, maybe even increase the amount of work they were doing on the game, add some features, polish some things because we're going to take longer anyway, and probably can't pull their game forward now. So I'm wondering if there's this void that pops up, kind of late October, November, outside of the likes of Call of Duty and the like, and probably some Switch 2 titles. Maybe there's a bit of a void there that gives us an opportunity, like you say, to go back and play other stuff, or take our time with it, or step away from games altogether for a little bit, whatever it happens to be. I'm kind of into that idea. I guess we'll kind of look at this through two different lenses. There's 2025, there's 2026, and maybe we can hone in on GTA itself and what we can expect there for them and Take-Two. But in terms of the 2025 stuff and the remainder of the year for Take-Two, for other publishers out there, what are you thinking?
Well, like I was the same as you when I saw the Borderlands 4 gameplay and the release date for it. I thought, oh, okay, so maybe they pushed it forward 2 weeks for the case of being GTA's coming out around that time. I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, okay, so maybe we know where GTA 6 is coming then. Like I said, tweet comes in, like, oh, well, okay, don't worry about it then.
Yeah.
But I think for anyone who's released a game this year, I reckon there's a sign of relief now. Because they've got, basically, if there's a game coming out, I don't know, next couple of months or something, they can delay it till October, November now. There's no pressure. There's no, what I would call a dead zone or a no-go zone for GTA 6 is no longer there.
Yeah, because I think even Call of Duty would have absolutely suffered. Call of Duty, the biggest game in the world every single year, except for probably the years that Rockstar brings out a new game. Even they probably would have been a little bit anxious, a little bit worried about this one. I can't remember which Call of Duty it was, but it took a hit in 2018, the same year that Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and Red Dead's not anywhere near the scale that GTA is. This is going to be probably the biggest launch of a video game or any entertainment thing probably ever, whenever it finally comes out, whether it's May 26 or some other time. So I think you're right. They'll be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief, and if they do need to delay, they can. If we think about Take-Two themselves, they've got, and we've referenced Borderlands, that's obviously come forward a couple of weeks. I think it was to September 12 or September 13.
12.
12th from its initial September 23rd date, which was going head to head with Marathon. That's now got some space. NBA 2K would probably be a week before that. They've got Mafia that comes out in August as well. Maybe Mafia can slide a little bit now, which gives it a bit of time to kind of get the polish right for Hangar 13 to do its thing and get that game the way it needs to be. there's probably a few wins within their portfolio for 2025. There's questions that I've then got for 2026 that involve GTA and some other titles as well. But for Take-Two, they can probably allow some of their titles to breathe a little bit. And I think the first priority now at this point is to create some space between Borderlands and Mafia. And maybe Mafia gets delayed a month or two. Because right now, Borderlands has actually come closer to Mafia. Well, let's see if I can double check the Mafia release date. I feel like I had it handy. Could be wrong, though.
I think it was August.
Mafia the Old Country is August 8th. So there's still a month between it and the new date for Borderlands 4. But I just reckon, I don't know, go later. Or I guess it's a weird one. They'd then run the risk of releasing a big open world, near Ghost of Yoto, which is going to be a big open world as well. But I think they're also quite different. So I don't know, maybe the game is ready and they're just good for early August. There's a bit of a void around them. Metal Gear doesn't come out till the very end of August. Donkey Kong is mid-July. There's no real big blockbusters in that window yet. So
when's Metroid Prime 4?
No date yet.
Oh, I thought there was a date.
No. Still meant to be this year, and I presume it will be. I feel like it's probably Metroid October and Pokemon November. Pokemon ZA, or Legends ZA. But, those sorts of things haven't been revealed by Nintendo yet. So right now, there's kind of a bit of a gap there on either side of Borderlands that they can work with, one that they're already in. But it gives them some room if they do need to give that time a bit of extra love. They can delay it, and it's not the worst thing in the world. Other publishers, you've already alluded to that. Yeah, they're probably breathing a bit of a sigh of relief. They just now probably don't want to be, if you're like there's not many games that have a super late release date given yet, but if you're a Borderlands 4, they've just pushed forward, but if you're a Ghost of Yotai, like you probably don't want to have any reason to delay now, unless your plan is to release in January, February. Otherwise, you're starting to get a little bit too close, assuming May 26 sticks. Which, will be a talking point in a second. But, 2025, I think they're all breathing a sigh of relief. And I think for us, playing games, catching up on games, whatever, probably a good thing too. I know we've spoken about this a bit, I wasn't in any great hurry to play GTA 6 when it came out. I will. Inevitably I'll play it.
No rush to play it.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
not going to stop the world for me, I don't think. So that would have been the opportunity to work on the backlog and catch up on some stuff, or finish games that were still on the immediate to play list that might have been shoved to the side by some other big blockbuster. Well, that won't be the case if it's GTA. So, and every developer in the world now knows. All right, right now anyway, avoid May, June 2026. There's now your void. So, what do you think about that release date? Will May 26, 2026 stick?
I don't know. I know there's been a history of recent Rockstar games being, well, I say recent, there's not been many recent. Red Dead Redemption 2
and GTA 5
was the last. GTA 5. They were delayed. And you sort of feel like it just doesn't matter where they put it, it's still going to sell. So they've got that freedom. Unlike other developers, you can't push something further in later on because it could get drowned out by another popular game. This is on the top of the mountain. They can just release it wherever they want and it'll still sell. It doesn't matter. They delay it by 6 months again. Doesn't matter. It's still going to sell absolute shitloads.
Do you think a secondary delay is a thing? So you obviously referenced it a moment ago and we were talking about it before the show started. So like Red Dead initially was due to launch fall, sorry, I'm using the American language here, but it was fall 2016. Then it got delayed to spring 2017. No, sorry. Fall 2017. Then got delayed to spring 2018. And then it got its final fall 2018 release date. GTA 5, which admittedly 2013 now, but was meant to come out 2012, got pushed to early 2013, then came out September 2013.
I feel like this is like a dangle of the carrot situation. Like, oh, it's coming out in May, and then come January, you go, oh, we've pushed it to October. So we pushed it out a year.
Yeah.
And all casual gamers will be upset, but you and me won't care because we've got other games to play that are in our massive backlog.
Yeah.
So I'm not bothered, no matter what.
It is interesting to hear the casuals, and and I guess this is where my little experience as a teacher kind of comes into it. Like the number, and students know that I've got a friend working at Rockstar, and they know that because I've mentioned in the past happily. When they've asked,
Oh, look at you.
what do you know about it? I've gone, yeah, I know. Well, it's
Look, it's like, oh, I know someone from Rockstar.
the perks of doing Dev Diary over the years, but and him being a Sunbury local before shipping off to go work at Rockstar.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, he's working over there, and we chat very loosely from time to time, and certainly never would he discuss any details, no matter how much I tried. But they know this, and they ask, "What do you know? What do you know? What do you know?" Like, and these are your casuals. That they'll play Call of Duty, they'll play GTA, they'll play their sports games, Fortnite, Minecraft, and that's it for the most part. Outside of the ones who've got some taste, at which point I give them more of my attention and suggest, have you ever tried Claire Obscura Expedition 33?
Hey, you study French. Go play this.
Yeah, oui,
it's as French as it gets. Oui.
So yeah, like for them, they're kind of riding every bump, and that's all they care about. That's all they want to know about. And so those sort of, I'm curious to get to work on Monday and see how many students are cracking the shits over the fact that they've now got to wait another 12 months for GTA. Obviously, we're recording this on the weekend, people. There's a day or two before it finally goes up on the feed.
Blame your friend. It's like, your friend sucks.
Yeah, they'll write some death threats that they'll ask me to then send to him. Hey, sir, can you please pass these death threats on to your friend? Sure, no worries, chap.
No worries, buddy. I'd be more than happy to.
I'm really sorry, Will. So I guess, yeah, let's shift the focus a little bit to 2026. What do you see this potentially meaning for other games that are due to launch in 2026? Obviously, there's going to be this void probably around May and June, and that's fine. And for us, that's okay. I mean, May and June this year have been, well, obviously we're about to get into May, but we're seeing the likes of Doom, Elden Ring comes out. We've also got this weird one this year because obviously the Switch 2 launches in that period, which kind of makes things a little bit weird. But Death Stranding, if we set that aside for a second, you've got the likes of Death Stranding 2, FBC, Firebreak. I feel like a few of those games, maybe not Death Stranding 2 because it's a Kojima job and Kojima just does what Kojima does. But for the most part, a lot of those games, and I would even say Elden Ring because it's kind of more of a live service this time around, most of those games would clear out if GTA was anywhere within a month, probably, of them. So I feel like we're going to get that dead spot that you were talking about. But what about the rest of the year? I guess the other interesting thing on the docket for 2K or Take Two, whichever lens you want to look at it, you've got Hades, not Hades.
Oh yes,
Judas, I should say.
Judas, yes.
Judas, and you've also got BioShock. That's still supposedly it's definitely in development. It's just where in development it is. But yeah, the fourth one, the one that's supposedly, I don't know. I'm not even 100% clear on what the rumors are these days. But more imminently, Judas, which was supposed to at one point launch by March of 2025. And that obviously hasn't happened. And it's just kind of come and gone with nothing. But, that based on that release date or targeted window, that can't be that far away. Does that come out this year? If it comes out in 2026, how do they kind of juggle that? Because it's a big, high-profile Ken Levine job. What do you think this kind of looks like for other games coming out in 2026, both from Take-Two but also from everyone else?
Well, I think it's what the situation is for people releasing games in 2025. So I wouldn't say they're going to avoid it, but the question is, like we said, where's it going to land? Everyone's thinking March, or was it May, March, whatever. And
yeah, May 26th at the moment.
They might be thinking the same thing, going, they could delay it again. And that's what I think. That's what they want to know. Is like, is it going to get delayed? So someone says, "Oh yeah, we'll put our game in October," and then they say, "Oh hey, we delayed our game till October," and then they're just going to think, "Oh dear." Say goodbye to your families.
The company that kind of springs to mind most when it comes to, I guess, concerns for 2026 games is actually Xbox. It's Microsoft. obviously they'll have their annual Call of Duty, and that is whatever it is, and that's fine. That's not gonna. It maybe doesn't do as well as usual in whatever whatever rendition of Call of Duty comes out in the same year as GTA. But beyond that, they're meant to have Clockwork Revolution, Gears is supposedly going to come out, Fable is supposed to come out.
When's Perfect Dark coming out?
Perfect Dark's probably due for next year too. They're
another Forza game.
Yeah, that could be close. I mean, that one will be a tricky one, I guess. They're in a weird spot. I'm just double checking the list at the moment to make sure there's nothing I've missed. But certainly I've kind of hit the big ones there with Gears. State of Decay 3 is supposedly on track still for next year. There's quite a lot they're working on. A lot of it that's kind of starting to circle 2026. Maybe if some reports are to be believed, maybe Gears comes out this year, and there's obviously a handy window now at the end of the year where that could come out. But the rest of it's definitely 2026 or later. There's so many of those that some of those games have got to be in the firing line, you would imagine, or somewhere within that kind of month either side window, which is a worry for some of them. PlayStation doesn't really have that issue. They haven't really announced anything that kind of fits that bill. They've obviously got Saros, the new game from
Marquee, the ones did Returnal.
Yeah.
Housemarque?
Housemarque. Yeah.
Housemarque.
They've got that, and then you've also aware of Intergalactic from Naughty Dog.
Oh yes.
But rumors, Jason Schreier is kind of suggesting that maybe that doesn't even hit 2026. So I don't know how much there is to that, but for the two big publishers, I think Xbox has got a lot more to worry about. PlayStation's got a bit more flexibility. Nintendo will just do their thing, I think. I don't think
Nintendo's just Nintendo. They don't care.
Can we have, again, let's go back to Doom and Animal Crossing. Can we have I don't know, a Mario platformer launch the same day as GTA? That'd be amazing.
It would. It would work, I feel like, because it's two completely different style of games. You're only going to hear people go, oh, what are you going to blame that day? Are you going to blame people this person robbed a car because they played Grand Theft Auto, or is it because of the new Super Mario game?
Someone was assaulted because someone jumped on their head. You can probably blame Mario. If someone's assaulted because someone's pulled a gun and they've been pistol whipped by it, probably GTA.
Or someone ate some funny mushrooms.
Yeah, that could be either. In terms of other publishers, I think of, I can't really... I'm struggling actually to genuinely think of big games that are kind of already projected for 2026.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I know there was games this one's coming out next year. I'd be like, yeah, cool, because they didn't really show anything of it except just a shitty trailer, and that was it. And they just don't worry about it until it gets an actual release date or some actual gameplay, not just a fancy trailer. It was like some bank heist style game. I don't know.
You talking about the PlayStation 1?
I can't remember. Like I said, there was the co-op one.
Why am I going? There's Fair Games, obviously, which is the
might be it.
Which is the live service one from PlayStation. That's Jade Raymond's new game.
That sounds right.
But there's not a huge amount. There's that Dustbloods from FromSoft, the one that was announced during the Switch 2 event.
That's the Nintendo one. Yes,
but I don't see that being much of an issue because it's a Switch 2 game. There's Exodus. Remember, that's the game.
The Mass Effect,
the very Mass Effect one. Yeah. I'm looking through a little list here that certainly won't be comprehensive because it's kind of been put on Wikipedia, which means it'll be missing a whole bunch of stuff. But there's the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake still somewhere in the mix. Star Wars Zero Company, which was that new tactics one that was announced just recently, that is on track for 2026. But there's not a huge amount currently slated. Maybe we get one of those Witcher spin-offs. Not The Witcher 4, but the remake, the supposed remake of the original.
Oh, yes.
Maybe. But yeah, right now there's not a huge amount, which is probably not the worst thing. You don't have too many developers and publishers out there that have committed themselves to 2026 where the questions are being asked and they've got to kind of do something or pivot. They may be in a good spot with 2026 right now because you can just kind of wait, use whatever resources you've got. Certainly, all these publishers then have a line to PlayStation, Xbox, and PlayStation, Xbox. Outside of working at Take-Two, those will be the two companies that know the absolute most about GTA because everything has to come through them as the console manufacturers. They could refuse GTA launching if they wanted to. They won't. Way too much money, but so they would know the most, and maybe PlayStation go, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, don't launch here, especially if there's kind of talk about a GTA delay somewhere down the line. Otherwise, it's probably, for the industry, it's probably a very good gesture by Rockstar to go, you've got 12 months, and then we're here to take all your lunch money. I don't know. Any other thoughts on 2026 or some of the other titles along the way?
Well, all I'll say is I'm relieved that it's not in 2025. That's all I can say. There's that gap now where I can just, play the rest of the games that I've got to play. Then, I hate to say it, worry about next year's games.
Next year.
That's about it.
No, that's fair. And I'm a little bit the same. Just try and enjoy the fact that there's a window here that's available to us to potentially have some gaps in the game library and try and enjoy that for as long as I can. Any other thoughts?
When it does release, I still don't care.
Yeah, but we're not going to be like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom about it. We'll appreciate that it's probably a very good game. It's just
great, it's out, but it's just like, but for us, it's like, we're unfortunately, or honestly, we've got better games to play that are, let's be honest, far more entertaining and exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not being a dick about that. I know what's going to happen in GTA. Rob someone, crash a car, probably
blow your money at the hookers.
Blow your money, go to strip club, blah, blah, blah. All the same stuff. Nothing changes.
Yeah. Piss off the cops.
Chase
them, have them chase you around for a bit.
Do something stupid. Same old Grand Theft Auto stuff.
It's going to be fun, but we've been there and done it, so no rush. All right, we'll wrap things up. We'll wrap things up there then. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below, hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched. We've got Let's Plays, there's Shorts, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks. Lower tiers, early access. Higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter and socials. Matto.
Matto_Phil or Matto Phil.
Yeah. Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next time, thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you later.